Everyone has different games they played growing up and look back on from time to time, some of which being accessed through websites online, and a lot of you probably remember playing games on Facebook back in the day, and so do I. But we all know that the best games on there just kept getting taken off, and looking at the games on there right now, come on, ain't nobody playing these. Yo bro, hop on Hedgies right now, I've been grinding so hard. But there was this one game website you could access on Facebook back in the day that I have a lot of memories of, but I'm pretty sure you could also go on the website without using Facebook. But that, as well as many more questions, I will be trying to answer with the research I do in this video. Now before I start, a lot of this information I could not just find by looking it up, and I ended up having to use the Wayback Machine to come to a lot of my conclusions, so take some of the things I say with a grain of salt. But honestly, it kind of makes the whole thing more fun because it actually feels like I'm the one finding the information. With that being said, let's get into it. MindJolt is known today as Jam City Inc., and they still have a working platform up today being jamcity.com that seems to still be active. And there's a lot of info about them on this Wikipedia page, but I'm only interested in the stuff about the website MindJolt, which there doesn't seem to be much info on here. And I think the reason is that Jam City didn't have any connections to MindJolt until 2010, the year that the company Jam City founded and acquired MindJolt Games and took over. And going on the Wayback Machine and inputting mindjolt.com, there's a snapshot as old as September 25th of 2002. But that just shows this random image and nothing else. And it's not until the 15th of October 2007 that we get our first snapshot that actually says something about the MindJolt website we are looking for. And on the 2007 snapshot, it says mindjolt.com coming soon, and then there's a link to a Facebook profile, which when you click on it, it actually does in fact take you to the earliest version of the website, meaning that at the beginning, Facebook was indeed the only way to go on there. There's a couple more of these snapshots that say the same thing until the 29th of November of the same year. There's a snapshot that brings us to the earliest look at the non-Facebook version of the website. Now, since I'm pretty sure people have to manually save snapshots, we may not be able to get any exact dates, but this tells us that the website launched sometime in late 2007, the Facebook one being sometime between the 1st of May and the 15th of October, and the actual website version being somewhere between the 22nd and the 29th of November. Am I the only one who feels like a lot of good stuff came out in 2007 specifically? Now, what is MindJolt exactly? Obviously it's a website you play games on, but from what I gather, it was pretty much just a platform where people could put their games on it and monetize them. I assume that's pretty much the same as something like Cool Math Games, but I never played that when I was growing up, so this basically was my Cool Math Games. Actually, I'm not sure how old Cool Math Games is, but whatever, not important. And again, I was on there a lot when I was younger, but I didn't really give where the games themselves came from a second thought. And speaking of, there were a few games in particular that I set out to find with the research done, as I don't even remember the names of any of them, or at least didn't before recording this. One of which I literally used to call that one game when referring to it with my brother. And out of the 3 games I wanted to find, that was the only one I had found anything on, being this one image. Now as of recording this, I have in fact already found all the games I was looking for and played them, which I would show some footage of right here to increase the runtime, but I doubt many people who clicked on this care about seeing that. And if you're wondering how I found a way to play them all I really did was look through the snapshots through the years, find the game I was looking for, and since it doesn't actually let you play anything through the snapshots, unsurprisingly, since the website kinda doesn't exist anymore, all I had to do was look up the name of the game after I found it, and was able to find other active websites that still had them. Although in hindsight, the one I already had found an image for probably could have easily been found with reverse image searching, but hey, I'm not the brightest. Okay, so everything before this and some of the recording after this next segment I didn't know about until recently, and it gives us even more concrete answers as to the origins of the website. But I've already scrapped enough of this video, so even though this information might make a couple things said earlier a little redundant, I'm just gonna ignore that. So I actually found the guy who founded it, and he seems to be a man called Richard Fields, who if you go to his LinkedIn profile over on the Experience tab, there's a bit more info that would have been useful to have earlier, that's for sure. As it says when he founded and was the CEO of MindJolt, being October 2007 to April 2011. which again, I didn't mention earlier as I kind of thought I was done doing research when making that part of the video. The profile also states that he designed and built MindJolt from the ground up, which quickly grew to over 20 million monthly unique users. MindJolt was acquired by Austin Ventures-backed Platform G and was renamed the Social Gaming Network in 2016. It was renamed again and is now known as Jam City, which we already went over. Richard stayed on as head of product strategy during the transition period. Okay, not really sure what to fit this next section, so I'll just talk about it now. While doing research, I decided to see if I could find anything on MindJolt on YouTube, and I was able to find some gameplay videos, but none of them had more than a few thousand views, so I think it's safe to say that this is more or less a new topic for the platform. Well, assuming this video gets more than a few thousand views. There is this one of this guy playing Crazy Cabbie posted 14 years ago from the channel Sasha Mies, however you say that. Already showed some footage of this one in the background for a bit. And there's this guy that left a very mean comment that I needed to respond to, so I did. Wonder if he'll ever get back to me. Anyways, as far as how the website evolved over the years, it kind of seems like it hasn't. I'll show some images from over the years, but the look seems to not really have changed very much, or very many times at all through the website's existence. Now finally, let's finish off with the data breach that led to the website's shutdown. Surprisingly, despite the fact that Alright guys, I'm just gonna end it. Surprisingly, despite the fact that this impacted approximately 28 million users, I actually could only find a couple things going into much detail about the incident. And most of the information I'll be saying comes from an article on a website posted on 2024. When the incident happened on the 18th of March 2019. The article states that the online gaming website MindJolt experienced a data breach that exposed a large number of user records. The incident involved unauthorized access to user information, including names, dates of birth, and even emails. This breach raised concerns about data privacy and the security measures in place to protect sensitive information. The data was provided to a third party who requested it to be attributed to a specific email address. It also states specific details about the breach method were not disclosed. However, it is generally understood that the vulnerabilities in the website security allowed unauthorized parties to access and extract user data. Okay, even that isn't very detailed at all, so I just assume MindJolt never gave any detailed information about it to begin with. Possibly that they were trying to hide that it even ever happened, but maybe that's a stretch. Let me know what you think. There is some more discussion about it here on this Microsoft forum, but it doesn't seem to tell us anything new really, so still read it if you want. Actually, I'm pretty sure they never even stated if the breach was the reason for the website's shutdown, but considering the last snapshot of the website is on May 23rd of the same year, just a couple months after the fact, it's pretty safe to assume that's the reason. So, I guess there's just a lot of stuff about this whole situation that is pretty unknown. If any of you guys happen to know more, don't know why you would know more, but I guess let me know in the comments. And yeah, that is pretty much everything. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave it a like, and more importantly, a comment. Because that really helps. I think sharing is a thing too. I don't think I ever ask people to do that, unless I'm wrong. I don't know, man. I haven't posted in 2 months. I don't know. I feel like this video isn't gonna do very well. That's just my feeling. But you know what? It is what it is, because after this video's out, expect way more consistent uploads, and hopefully 2025 will be my year. But anyways, I thought, it'd be good to start off the year with a nice higher quality video as far as my standards go, even if it doesn't perform very well. It is what it is, man. I actually enjoyed making this video quite a bit, so hey, it's okay.